us this week, fantasy football expert, footballscientist.com. He also works for The Athletic. You can follow his live blog during Thursday Night Football during this football season. KC, always great to catch up with you. But first and foremost, before we get into fantasy football, we shared some of the stuff that was going on. You live down in Florida last week. Obviously, you had to deal with the hurricane. Everything relatively okay with you?
Relatively okay. We had to get a bunch of water off the porch. My son estimated we get 250 gallons of water off the porch, but it never got to the house, so we're pretty good. Our neighbors were down the hill or not so lucky. They all got flooded out, but all in all, we did okay.
Well, it's good to hear, KC. You were in our thoughts, man. We were talking about you last week, and it's great to hear that relatively you were okay, and hopefully the people around you will be able to get through what they went through, because it's a really rough situation down there. So we were thinking of you, my man. Let's get to fantasy football now. Being at the Rock at YouTube, youtube.com. Again, you can chat questions to us, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. You can call us. We have a couple calls waiting. We'll get to at 916-339-1140. You can also tweet at us. Being at the Rock on YouTube, PPR, Melvin Gordon, TEJ or Ramondre Stevenson. He says, fix my flex.
I'm probably going Gordon because I know they got Boone and they just activated Philip Lindsay today, but he looks to be the guy. In fact, the head coach said, hey, we're not sure we're going to go with the go committee, and the offensive coordinator's like, yeah, we're going to go Gordon. So I'm leaning Gordon this week in as many leagues as I can, because I think he'll be a RB2 and has an outside chance at RB1 numbers.
Got one here on the text line. Need to pick between two wide receivers, between Juju, Lazard, and Judy.
Juju, Lazard, and Judy. I wrote something about, you can find it on that live blog you guys talked about. I wrote something about Judy this week about his vertical numbers. He's doing fine vertically, and I think this will be a good game for him. But I got to go Lazard because Aaron Rodgers likes his favorite receivers, and Lazard and Dobbs right now are the guys he's going to.
Rami in Midtown, since we're on the subject of Juju Smith-Schuster, which Chiefs receiver do you like this week, Juju or MVS?
I probably like Juju only because MVS is going to be the guy who gets used on vertical passes. He had great stretch vertical numbers. That's a production of 20-yard passes downfield last year, but they're not going to that. They're going to a bunch of dink and dunk stuff. So I'm betting that Juju's going to get a better week this week and going to become more integrated in the offense down the road.
KC Joyner, fantasy football expert with us, footballscientist.com and The Athletic. Let's go to the phones. Joey is up first, has a question for you, KC. What's up, Joey?
Hey, what's up, Rob? I got a quick question for you. Do I start Judy tonight or keep Devonta in my starting lineup?
I'd have to go Devonta. Sorry?
No, he just said thank you.
Okay. Sorry. I'd have to go Devonta. He's starting to get the double-digit target volumes and things. And Judy's kind of the vertical guy, and he's going to get there, but he's splitting out with Cortland Sutton, and Sutton's having some really good numbers. So I like Judy overall, but I'm thinking of him more as a 3, maybe borderline 2. Devonta, though, at the volume that he's getting right now, I think he's going to be returning to his wide receiver 1 status. I think this week, it could be as early as this week, and if not, it's going to be in the near future.
Trade question on the text line. Trade Eckler and Ayuk for Aaron Jones and Drake London?
I probably want to be on the Eckler side of that deal. I call things blue-rated players or blue-chip players, or like what I call in my system. And out of that group, Eckler's probably the one that still has the best chance to get there. Jones is close, but he's splitting too many carries with Dillon.
916-339-1140, text line, also phone line. You can call us at 1-800-920-1140. Let's go to Chester. Chester has a fantasy football question. What's up, Chester?
Joe, man, my running back stable really stinks right now. I got Melvin Gordon, so you answered half my question. I also picked up Latavius Murray, Cam Akers, and the kid from Atlanta, the Tyler, and J.K. Dobbin. I want to start two of them.
Want to start two? I'm going Gordon and J.K. in that case. J.K. was full in practice today, so he's not limited. It looks like they already gave him a good workload last week. I think they wanted to give him more, but first really full week back, so they kind of gave him just a bit of a limit. But I don't like any of the other ones. Murray's probably not going to get much. Cam is still splitting with Henderson. I don't like where that offense is. And Tyler, same thing. He's splitting carries with Caleb Huntley. So I'll take the team I know. Yeah.
All right. Would you start Melvin Gordon over Ramondre Stevenson on the text line?
Melvin Gordon over Ramondre Stevenson. I probably would. I really like the matchup for Stevenson, the run defense matchup, because Detroit is really bad, and they're going to lean heavily on the ground game. But you got Bailey Zappi at quarterback. They just put Hoyer on IR, so it's going to be Zappi unless Mac. I'll tell you, the only caveat is if Mac Jones makes a miraculous return and can play this week, go ahead and go Ramondre. But we're not going to know that until then, so we're going to have to go Gordon tonight.
916-339-1140, 916-339-1140. You can text us, call us, 1-800-920-1140. YouTube, of course. You can hit us up at the chat window, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Back to YouTube. Run DMG asks you, KC, for his flex, Hawkinson or Najee Harris?
Oh, man, that is a tough one. Hawkinson, there was a lot of things that happened last week. A lot of it had to do with injuries, and the Lions still have a ton of injuries to their wide receiving core and to their whole skill position core. But it looks like they're going to come back. Amon Ross probably going to come back. They're going Chark maybe back, so they're going to get guys that are going to be competing with Hawkinson. Don't like that matchup. Having said that, I don't like the Steelers matchup at all. They're 14-point underdogs, and I think they should be more than that. So I'm probably still going to put Najee in there just because I know he's going to get a certain volume of work related to rushing or passing, and I'm not so sure on Hawkinson.
Last week, I was offered Najee Harris for Tyreek Hill.
Hold on. Are you going to ask your second personal question?
It's the last one, I promise. I turned it down, but then Tua went down with the injury. Does that change the equation at all?
Teddy Bridgewater's had some solid vertical numbers over the years. And Tua had terrible vertical numbers last year. He still put up good numbers. So Tua had terrible vertical numbers last year and put up good numbers this year. And Bridgewater's got a better track record than Tua did coming into the year. So I probably would want Hill out of those two.
All right. I got a couple texts here. James Robinson.
Do you have any friends that have questions? Family members?
James Robinson or Ezekiel Elliott?
I'm going to go Robinson in that one because Houston's rush defense is terrible. I think they could get 152-plus yards in that matchup.
And then Pollard or Zeke have to play one.
I wrote about that in my athletic article this week that came out on Tuesday. The gist of it is that Zeke is getting more of the carries, and he's getting the goal line carries, and Pollard is just between the 20s guys. So I got to go Zeke.
Let me ask you about the Niners, KC. Is it time to pretty much only start Debo from this offense and see if anybody else starts popping?
Wilson, I'd probably put him in the lineup too. We don't have a problem there. Kittle, if you look at his matchups that are coming up, there are some favorable matchups, what I call greenery matchups. There's three of them coming up in the next few weeks. So I think he'll get better unless there's some sort of injury issue, unless it's, hey, he's just not ready to come back to catch passes. He almost had a touchdown last week. So in most cases, I'm probably going to consider putting Kittle in the lineup.
His name is KC Joyner. He's a fantasy football expert. He joins us each and every Thursday at this time. He writes for The Athletic. He also has his own website. It's called thefootballscientist.com. He is a gentleman and a scholar. KC, thanks for joining us, man, again this week. We'll catch up with you next week.
Sounds like a plan, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. I need a show vote